Hey guys, so today was FOMC minutes. If you want to see the highlights, I posted it in the written TA, basically some highlights from the meeting. Essentially, the biggest thing that happened or that was repeated was that there was a couple Fed members that did want to do a 50 basis point hike, or at least would have voted for such things. And then outside of that, they basically just said the strong economy is worrisome for inflation, and that was pretty much it. Some people made some comments that they were supposed to talk about a plan to pause on rate hikes, but that did not happen. So it'll be interesting to see where we go from here on these on the FOMC days. So looking at SPY here, we're in this really aggressive sell-off right here. Biggest thing to note is that we did come up and try to break through the daily 20 and 50 EMA, but we could not do that. And we did not quite get down to the 100 EMA at 396.6. We did break through this falling wedge pattern we had right here. So now we're gonna, this bear channel pattern that we're in here, we don't quite know exactly where it goes. So we could still be in a bigger bear trend like this, but it's kind of tough to see here. We are having the daily 8 cross below the 20 EMA, something that's not happened since all the way back here in December. And not only that, we finally closed below the 200 EMA here, and this is going to be a fight. So this could be the retest before we push down, or this could have been the doji support bounce. So overall, I still view that we will see 390 before we see 405. However, I remain overall bearish as long as we don't close back over 405.3. Daily 100 EMA here at 396.6 should provide quite a bit of support, so we would definitely be watching that close. But SPY also put in its 4th red day in a row, something it has not done in quite a long time. I believe the last time it put 4 red days in a row was right here post CPI, as you can see, in December. So we are due for a bounce. However, with the basis point hike and FOMC minutes, and tomorrow morning we'll get GDP and jobs data, that definitely could move the market. So we're going to keep an eye on that and see where we go. One other big thing to note here on futures is the same thing here. We have this bull channel that is broken here, and we have the falling, or sorry, I said bull, but bear channel that was broken. And we also have the falling wedge here that was broken. So same thing here, we might have to adjust our bear channel to find exactly where our resistances are going to be and supports are going to be. Another thing too is we're in this 5-day long extreme sell-off channel right here. That resistance is going to rely right at 40.05 for tomorrow. Same thing here though. This one is actually a little bit more bearish of a rejection. You came up here, touched the 50 EMA, and we pretty much hard rejected at the high of day right at the 50 EMA. We did try to break through the 100 EMA, couldn't quite do it. So our biggest support is going to be right here at 39.85, and our biggest resistance is going to be at 40.30. So those are the two levels I'm going to watch the most closely. I still favor 39.20 before we retest 40.95. However, as long as we hold under 40.95, I remain overall bearish. Again, something else to note here on the weekly is we did break through this October support line. This is a big support line, and you can see this bigger falling wedge rising wedge that we were in here. Breaking through this falling wedge's support should solidify some downside into this 3,800 to 3,900 range. And it will be interesting to see if we do close under the weekly 8 EMA and possibly even the weekly 20 EMA, which sits at 39.95. So big levels to watch and a big close to watch this week. Taking a look at Tesla here. So Tesla did break out of its breakout slash breakdown triangle with a breakdown. So that does favor the downside overall on Tesla. One big thing to note though is it's still in this bear channel here. And something else to note is that we are trying to break back over the daily 8 EMA, but we so far have not been able to break through it. Taking a look at the VIX here, so interesting trend here is that we're obviously in this nice bull channel push up here. One big thing, and I noted this yesterday, was this 23.6 level was very important, and we came up and we smacked it and we came back down. The one thing that is very intriguing to me about today is the fact that we had FOMC minutes, and historically speaking, post FOMC minutes, we get a sell-off on the VIX. Now, granted, we did close obviously below where we opened on the VIX, and we did have a little bit of a retrace on the VIX post FOMC minutes. But honestly, we didn't have the sell-off that I thought we would have. Like for instance, this is the January 4th sell-off here on the FOMC minutes. So it's just very, very interesting to see that we held our own here. We do have quite a large gap here, and we didn't even break below yesterday's low day. So I'm going to be watching the VIX closely to see if we can break through and close over this 23.6 level, or if we're going to come down and maybe try to test support at 21 area and fill that gap before we go back up. So definitely some interesting things to keep an eye on as we go forward here. Last thing to keep an eye on here is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin did have a pretty good breakdown here. It retested 23.5K support. So far is holding that. But the biggest thing is we did not break through the daily 20 EMA, but we'll see if we can come back down here and close under the daily 8 EMA though. So Bitcoin was looking fairly bearish this morning. However, we are trying to hold our own here. So going to see what happens with that. Last little piece of the note here is Nvidia. I actually am bearish on Nvidia in general, but I mean, the Nvidia actually put probably the best earnings report this season that I've seen. Very, very impressive beats. Definitely some good numbers there. I am going to keep an eye on Nvidia tomorrow. It has this big old weekly resistance up here in this, basically right here from 215 to 231 is definitely a big resistance area. You can see we have all these huge wicks up here, and we have a nice rounding top. So it'll be interesting to see if we get this big move up tomorrow, and then we drop back down on Friday, or if maybe next week we're going to come back down. So definitely keeping an eye on that and where we close out here on the video this week. All right, hope you guys had a good day trading today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.